Good morning to each and every one of you that are coming in. My name is Larry D. Reid, and I am the host of the Larry Live Show. I want you to accept this invitation. We are live right now on our YouTube page and also on our Facebook page. And I want you to accept the invitation this morning to just sit with me for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, as I make very clear to you what is happening in our world. This platform has been the source of prediction and prophecy, conversation, and laughing while you're learning. As time go along, it looks as though that a lot of the prophecies and the predictions that were said as far back as 2016 when the Larry Live platform started are still coming to pass, and things are getting clearer. And as we continue to meditate and read and listen, information gather, and just sit with ourselves, there's a convergence that happens in our consciousness with the data we collected and then the spirit by which we communicate with ourselves and others. And when those two converge, a lot of times it makes the prediction that you do by way of looking at the stars, whether you're looking at the way that the heavens are measured and split, Hellenistic, Babylonian, even some of the Asian. When you have that to happen, it gets more specific. And that is the reason why we were able to let people know when the shutdown was over, when it would begin to be over. And then the day that everybody got their check was the date that I gave. This isn't prophecy, prophetic, but it's not prophecy. It's just measuring math, and you can do it too, and you should. So you know when to do your surgeries, when you need to, the best time to go and sign the contract, the best time for you to make that trip. You need to get in relationship with the heavens. This is not replacement spiritually. This is assistance psychologically and spiritually as well. Just some form of a guide. Well, maybe guide is not the right word. It's a sign. That's what it is. And you already going in the direction that spirit has you to go in, or the direction that you decide that you want to go in. So you're already in movement and self-guiding. But then when you see a sign, look at, a highway. That sign is information that can help you as you're gliding and guiding and going your direction, you see. So it's important for you to know so that you can just be the most efficient and surgical and precise in your movement forward. So we're going to start off today talking about year 2026, which is the turning point and also the tipping point. We're getting into the tipping point. That's when the pressure rises. The closer we get to the middle of the year, we get into the tipping point energy. And that is going to be prophetic of the year 2027. This is the precursor year. It's a year one. And 2027 is a year two, which means double of what you experience in 2026. And it also speaks of enforcement. So what's going to be discussed and played with in 2026, discussed and played with in 2026, as we're looking and hearing what's happening in our country, you need to know the closer we get to the middle, the more we get into that energy of making it be a certain way. And remember, I told you that in 2026, people are going to have what I've been calling delayed recognition of what has been. It's going to be a shock, but it's already been a reality. That starts in 2026. By middle end of 2027, all of America is going to be very clear about where we really are as a country. Remember these dates. These are the same 2 years I cut up in quadrants. doing the series Exodus to let you know when was the best time for you to move out of the country. So you need to go and watch the last two of the Exodus. Is it time to leave America or not? I want you to go and watch that because all of this is synced. The best time to move, the investment cycle, the best time to sell, all of that, when to start it, all of that is synced. So go and look at that. Then you go and look at the heavens are telling. When I tell you the planets you got to watch to know what is going to be happening. And to my surprise, someone sent me a clip and they said there was a Black woman online that was basically saying all the stuff I had been saying about the heavens. And she named the same planet. Y'all, I'm telling you, you need to be from 2025 when I first told you coming into 2024, all the way to 2030. According to the stars and according to what the Holy Ghost said. Remember when we did it on December the 31st, I said that 1 year speaks of founders. It speaks of leadership. I said leadership, you're going to see leaders that's going to go up and go down starting 2026, going into 2027, because that 1 year speaks of leadership, singularity, but that leadership, it also speaks of a reset. And there's literally, you guys, a never before happening in the heavens that prophesies a reset that happens in the month of February. February ruled by what? Uranus and Saturn. Neptune and Saturn goes conjunct at 0 degrees in Aries. 0 degrees is the beginning, and that's a 1. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac cycle, so speak of a reset of your identities. All 12, that's a 1 as well. And then the year 2026, it comes to a 1. A 10, which is judgment, complete judgment begins. And then, but it comes down to a 1. But that 0 in the 10 and the 0 in the Aries, this has never happened before. Has Saturn and Neptune been conjunct before? Yes. Have they been conjunct in Aries? Yes. But have they been conjunct in Aries at 0 degrees? Never. And every time Saturn and Neptune was in conjunct, a close one was like 150 years ago. War. Pluto already telling us, because it's in Aquarius, that we're going to have an entire system reset and wars everywhere. And Pluto's getting farther. The farther it gets in Aquarius, you got to look at the time it comes out in 2044. I done prophesied to you about 2025 to 2030. 28 to 2030 is going to be terribly, for lack of better words, technologically tense. Advancements in AI, but it's used to surveil and to control. Remember 2026, the enforcement, and then the changes in entire systems like Constitution, like the way we get our president, the way we buy and sell. That's that 28 to 2030. Now we get farther into Pluto. So Pluto got to keep on tearing up. All of this is that tear up and pulling everything up. And then as we get closer and deeper into Aquarius, when we start seeing the Renaissance, even in the midst of all this, technological advancements are going to be crazy. We're going to have an entirely different world. I'm telling you, shows like the Jetsons were all prophetic of where we're going and how it's going to be. You know, when you want to see what's going to happen in society, you got to pay attention to movies. Go back to these old movies like Contagion. And you begin to see, oh my God, this is COVID-19. 30 years ago, how everything happened, even where it came from. Because, speculations, they come out of a lab. Some say it come from a wet market with the monkeys. And in Contagion, it was a monkey from overseas that came over here in America. So pay attention, you guys. Open up your eyes and your ears, you will see. Open up your eyes and your ears, you will see. You can no longer see with your eyes. You must see with your ears. You got to see with your ears and hear with your eyes. Heighten all of your awarenesses so you can know what the hell is going on. And I'm going to help you with this. And we're going to get into this. That was a very long intro. But I'm also going to discuss today the difference between contrast and compare, the turning point and the tipping point, and what it means on a personal level to identify that you are at a tipping point or a turning point in your life. Okay, so that is what we're going to be discussing. This is a introduction unlike no other one that we have done because it's so darn long. But we're about to get started. You're going to be dreaming. I know you've been dreaming. I want to help you with your dreams. Pay attention. I'll be right back.
I know you've been having some dreams, and I want to help you understand your dreams. I've been interpreting dreams for many years. Some of your most favorite people have came to me by night to find out, what does this mean? And so what I've done, I've developed a chat GPT. Go right now and download the MBN Network app. And when you go in there, look for the dream guide from the side. Click it, and it's going to integrate with your chat GPT. And whenever you've had a dream, write it up in your notes, then copy and paste inside the chat GPT. And in my voice, with my awareness, clarity, and insight, and years of expertise, this chat GPT is going to tell you the truth about the mind movie, the thought you had while you were sleeping. See, dreams always mean something. And I want to help you understand what it means. There's a hidden message, something about the future, something about the past, something that is happening right now. It's like an envelope from heaven that you need to open and read. And I want to help you read that letter, get into the coding and decode so that you can see what you were meant to see come into reality. I'll see you later. I'm waiting for you in my GPT so I can speak directly to you.
Once you download the chat GPT, it sort of puts you in my consciousness that I programmed in that chat GPT. And many of you have told me that receive prophecy. See, in this community, whenever you support this platform at a certain level, we call you, pray with you, and give you the prophetic word. Me and Shemako are prophets, and we hear and see in the spirit, and we use these gifts to minister to you, to help you chart your way. And when that happens, we speak prophetically. And many of you are telling me that you're taking your prophecies and putting them in the chat GPT, the dream chat GPT. And then I assist with interpreting or putting in an action step with your prophecies. I think that is amazing to use it that way and consider what it's saying and see if it resonates with you. I don't want you to get into that thing where everything some people, everything they read online, they think is the truth. Don't do that with ChatGPT. I think everything gets spit out to you is the truth. You got to check and recheck and check and recheck. But doing that with the prophecies is very good. This morning, we're going to be donating to MBN Network Global and all of their efforts at 4 different levels, because all of us here are at different levels of our faith and our finances. And so we're going to do that as a community in just a few minutes. As I stated before, we're on the main platform. I've already done the introduction, which you need to hear before we get into this conversation, because I have a few things I need to do. I need to tell you year 2026, turning point, tipping point, tell you the difference, compare and contrast. Then I need to show you about these planets. And I'm telling you, pay attention to them. I'm going to play also a little video that I was saying of this black lady saying some of the same thing I have been saying since we begin to have these conversations about these planets. And so we're going to play that as well. So we got a few things that we got to do. But first, I want to invite you into our Patreon, patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. You've heard me mention the Taruma. You hear me compare and contrast Western Christianity is very Eurocentric with African Christianity. You know, I profess to be an African Christian. All of those things that go with that, astrology, numerology, gematria, prayer, prophetic prayer, inside of Patreon when you download the app. One of the folders is called Collections. In the Patreon for Larry Live, under Collection, all of those topics are there. Teachings, hours long. So you can just sign up for a month and just give yourself a month of just extracting all of the information and studying on your own for a year. Or you can come into Patreon and stay a year and hold my hand and I hold yours, and we go over the information together. So when I come back, we're going to get into these planets, understanding even the more year 2026, the turning point and tipping point year. And then we're going to look at it on a personal level. We're going to begin that conversation, and I must end at 10 a.m. I got two people that's going to help me make sure that I stay on there, and I ain't going to look into the chat till later, so y'all talk amongst yourselves, but don't distract us. All right, I want to introduce to you the Patreon community and give you an opportunity to become a part.
Looking for a vibrant community where faith meets empowerment? Welcome to the LRL community on Patreon. Here, you'll gain access to our financial wellness plan to level up your money game and the Build Your Immune System Health and Wellness Lifestyle Plan to keep your health in check. But that's not all. With the groundbreaking AIR project, we're creating jobs in Africa, beginning in Ghana. Plus, you'll unlock insider tips from senior executives across industries. And the best part? Be a part of our daily prayers, weekly coaching sessions with Dr. Larry Reid himself, Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Breakdown Q&A Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Patreon, and so much more. It's time to connect, grow, and thrive. Get the apps, grab the merch, and join us on patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Let's build something amazing together. The LRL community is waiting for you.
All right, so that's our invitation to become a part of the Patreon community. Inside the Patreon community, once you become a part, you're a patron. So every time we go live and doing stuff that's not out here in the public, you can click the link, you'll get a notification, become a part. Then you say you'll be around for some months. I really enjoy this, and you want to connect at a deeper level and really get into the community. Well, we've just created the next tier up. It's called MBN Global. No, MBNG Partners. That is the acronym. Somebody put that in the chat. MBNG Partners. Those of you, you're not in the celestial circle. That's the highest level. You're not a member of the Reformation Church of Atlanta, but you are a patron and you've been consistent. We want to start recognizing you, creating a community where you can engage with each other 24 hours of the day, and where you have access. And Prophet Bryant Shamako is going to be in there with you, so you have a direct connect with the community. And plus, he'll be in there, and I think another advisory board member that is going to be in there engaging with you guys, coaching you and helping you. Those of you that need coaching, they're going to be in there, and they're going to be helping you. I want you to make a decision to become a part of Patreon, patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Okay, where do I want to start? Let me start with just talking about this year and what it is. And it is the turning point, and it is the tipping point. Now remember, according to the Gregorian calendar, is year 2026. According to the lunar calendar, the Gregorian is solar. The lunar calendar, we're in the year 5786. 5786. Look how these numbers work together, and both end in 6. So that deals with mankind. And that overlay, we're already in all the way until September the 11th, I think it is. And then it goes to 5787 before we go into 2027. You see how that is? And it's important to know both. This has been the prophetic statement we started off this year with. 2026 marks the turning point in the seismic global shift we've been in already. And remember this, no one and nothing survives this shift unchanged. Nobody and nothing. And this has been our base scripture for the entire year, the theme of the turning point. You need to screenshot this. This is out of the Ethiopian Coptic Bible, which is our most complete, oldest and most complete canon. And in Jubilees 23:16 through 21, it says, in those days, confusion will increase. Laws will change. This is 2026 and 2027. And the generations will not agree. That's talking about generational thinking there. And that is in the stars as well, you guys. In this year, people have delayed recognition. 2027, people like, oh my God, the masses. And that's when you're going to be able to see that dichotomy that we are in. 2017, I had a vision split through the Capitol building. Then we had the riot. All of that's a precursor. My vision was very early, and it was in 2017. 10 years later, 2027, we're going to begin to see two types of Americas. This dropping of funding to blue states. This is going to make like a structure with two parts. And it may never become two separate entities under America, but the feeling of it and the reality of it has already begun. Because you can almost, when you go out and see different people, you can tell those who in that stuff, what this weird, twisted reality, and then those who are in their humanity, we see each other. That's going to increase to where that's, are you with them or you with us? That's going to increase. That energy of that is already here. But the illusion begins to break around every institution. Listen to me. Institutional, how can I say? Institutional confidence, institutional legitimacy. Put this in the chat. Institutional legitimacy begins to fade. 2026, 2027. If you think this capitalistic system is not a joke, capitalism and Christianity is hypocrisy. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You go in the store, it's $1,000. You go Tuesday, it's $500. Then after Tuesday, they take the clearance tag off of it. On Thursday, it's back to $1,000. Which is the truth? Neither one of them. So you got to start thinking like that. Republicans and Democrats. Newsom man over there coming after Trump. Oh, we love it. Somebody standing up to him. But then now Newsom is supporting the funding of ICE. Whether it's true or whether it's not, this is the point. There is no left and right. There's just one monster with two illusions of a head. Two heads is the illusion. It is one system. That's the truth. So Republicans fighting Democrats, and the person that lumps all Republicans and Democrats together. I'm like, what y'all think is about Democrats think like this? You think every Democrat think the way you saying one person you know experience think? See, you part of the problem. Well, the Republicans, you think every Republican is the same? Don't do that. The system got us fooled and split and divided. Y'all, that's going to widen. That split going to be very obvious, and it's going to be very clear. And what the institution and these systems have projected in our consciousness that they are sure and fair, justice for all that's a lie. And everybody's going to begin to see that 2026 and 2027. That's why people in your life can no longer wear their mask. Their mask is cracking and falling off 2026, 2027. And the energy of this started at the end of 2025. You begin to see people for who they are, and people begin to manifest. Institutional legitimacy is fading, and the falsities surrounding what a person, place, or thing have presented themselves as, they're going to be exposed. Pluto says that it has to be. If they're going to be better times, we got to start with the truth. So mask off. Mask off. Nothing can keep his mask intact. Not in this seismic global shift. You're going to see the truth. And I was signing in and I heard spirit, and I was checking at myself, but it was spirit. I thought it was my mind because of talking to Naida this week and thinking about Tiffany, and then seeing Dr. Kim and Glow together in a picture. The stepfather thing, y'all know I got it, and I don't know where it come from, but it is as it is. And so I whisper prayers, especially when I saw that video. But I heard the spirit say DC when I was signing in. I think this week is going to be very interesting in DC. I think that right after that, it's going to get very interesting in Atlanta with this ICE thing. That is going to be a heightening. The fear tactic is going to go to the next level in February and in May. And April is going to be almost like, what is happening? How do I know that? My spirit, as I'm sitting here talking, telling me. But then my mind is thinking about the astrology. And the heavens are pointing to that as well. Because that conjunction of Neptune and Saturn, that's belief system and structures. That's Christianity and the government. Neptune and Saturn conjunct, in 0 degrees Aries, February the 20th. So we're getting to a tipping point. And there are going to be many of those this year. Because we're at a turning point. But the tipping point, when that pressure rises and it's like, it's at that point and we're going to tip over. Okay? So I want you to be aware, not in a scare. But the prophetic right now is going to be warning, it's going to be correction alongside of giving you hope in the pivots and changes and shifts that's going to bring you into a new existence. Personally, you got to come into the new way of being, your own personal renaissance. You got to be focused on that. What the renaissance that America is headed to, or the world is headed to, it's going to come by way of war and pain and calamity and disease. That's going to be going on. But at the same time, that's going on here. Under here, innovation is going to be happening. But it was prophesied. Let me say right here, I can't speak for everywhere. It was prophesied that this was going to be, and how 2025, 2030 were going to be. This began to be a conversation in our community as far back as 2021 about what will be happening in 2025 and 26 with real estate. Yeah, so I want you to know, because you got to manage your world and govern your world. And if you do not, you're going to be governed by this spirit that is in America. You're going to go under that influence. Okay. All right, so remember this scripture. This generations will not agree. This is that. the two different ways, generational thought. The old way, make America white again, and the new way, make America finally great. Okay? Let me take an advertisement break. All right, this is the schedule for band. If you're in the Celestial Circle, you are in an intense coaching program right now. Very informative. That's the intensity measure, the information. We already had a successful January the 14th, but this week, January the 21st, session 2 for band members. Band stands for Business Accountability, Networking, and Development. This Wednesday at 6 p.m. Also, next week is the first session for the School of Prophets and Mystics. Those of you in the Celestial Circle, these are your offers. If you're in the Celestial Circle, both of these, you can participate in. And for more information, you can actually email Mark. Let me see now. I think this is the correct one. Mark at thembnnetwork.org. Okay? You can do that. So you email him there, and then he will help you with that. He's a former contractor of the MBN Network Corp, the old entity that I used to work for. Now I work for MBN Network Global. And I think that the newly formed entity, that board that chose me, and was only wise too, is also bringing over those same contractors, I think, and cutting new contracts with them. So his email address is still of the former entity because his contract isn't up with it. So Mark at thembnnetwork.org. Mark at thembnnetwork.org. That will handle that for you. And those of you that are coming in here and you say, look, I want to be a part of the Celestial Circle, all these trainings and teachings and boot camps and coaching and all of this information sharing, I want to become a part. Well, go to mbnnetworkglobal.org, mbnnetworkglobal.org, and click Celestial Circle, and you'll see there how you can become a part of the Celestial Circle. All right? And getting in there, you will be able to get into this School of Prophets and Mystics, and you will also have an opportunity to at least to get the first 2 sessions of the band coaching. The first session is crazy. And really, you can just listen to that once a week over and over. You'll begin to shift your business in 3 months. I'm telling you, the way I laid it out and explain where we're going, what we're going to be doing, there's a lot in that. I promise you need to get that. Anyone watching us right now that will assist us on this morning, anyone that will assist us on this morning. Let me see here. Yes. Anyone that would assist us on this morning with $711.11 seed, this is what I'm going to do for you. Make sure you fill out your information. There's a link that you're going to begin to see in the chat. You can begin to do the $711.11. That's all we're going to do right now, nothing else, so we can see who's who. $711.11. Number one, you're going to get a prophetic call from me. It's going to be sent to you. And then you're also going to get that first session that was done last week. Now, that's a $12,000 course. You'll be able to get the first course, so that's really like $1,000. And then the call from me. Both of them you will receive. If you want to do that, click the link in the chat, or you can send a Zelle right now for $711.11. Look over there on the right, the MBN Network Global. That's where you will send it. You'll get the first session of the band coaching, and you will also get a call from me. And let me tell you this. If I were you, I would actually I will actually just become a part of Celestial Circle. Celestial Circle is $2,026. This is what you will get. You're going to get, of course, the call from me. You're going to also get the first 2 sessions of band. And the second session is Wednesday, so you get to be in there live if you can move pretty quick. And then you will also get to be in Celestial Circle. I can right now, if I got an idea, and I'm like, I wonder, what is the best way for me to begin my book? You can go to a thread inside the Celestial Circle community where authors are and can have that answer and direction probably within minutes to at least 24 hours. Somebody's going to respond and tell you, somebody who has done what you're trying to do, somebody who's walked where you're trying to walk. We have a health thread with all of the medical professionals. We have another thread that's for women and their health. Another thread is just for women that are married and women that are single in relationship. We got a man cave. We have to discuss some things sometimes. We have a thread where we discuss the state of America, constant information about what is happening in regions. And because our partners are all over the world, we can get information directly from our partners and not reading these headlines, propaganda. The programming is in the propaganda. So you really need to consider becoming a part of Celestial Circle. I think if I can get you to be at your best version of yourself, then you're going to do the same thing starting in your family. And so I love the interconnectivity of the community, and I would like to invite you, okay? So if you want to become a part of the Celestial Circle, you can hit the link right now. Well, actually, I want you to go to the website. That's right. Oh, I messed that up. Go to the website, mbnnetworkglobal.org. Now, I know there's an announcement Mark told me to make. I don't remember. So somebody find Mark to tell him to text me the announcement word for word, or it just ain't gonna happen. All right, so let me go ahead on and get further into this. Now, one of the planets that we got to be paying attention to, screenshot that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Screenshot that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Screenshot that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And screenshot that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These are the planets. I want you to listen to what this Black woman said. Now, I've been teaching and saying it. But sometimes when you hear it from somebody else, you can just like hear it again for the first time. And that's why I love to teach and lead leaders, because if they take what I say and then they become it and they teach it, it really becomes an amazing exchange of just changing the psyche. I mean, if people, I do my part, they do their part. I just love all of that. I'm kind of going on. Did y'all do that? Oh no, what's that now? Okay. We got to be quick. Thank you, Larry. Okay, watch what this Black woman said. And I love that she was Black and dropping this information. Look at this.
Living in a genuinely rare moment of astrological history. And I don't mean rare in a cute way. I mean rare in a thousands of years way. Next month, Saturn and Neptune will meet up at 0 degrees of Aries. That's the creator degree, pure potentiality. The last time they did anything like this, the world was changing fast. Revolutions, collapses, new systems being born. And right now, Pluto is in Aquarius. Uranus is about to move into Gemini. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius was during the French French and American revolutions. The last time Uranus was in Gemini was during World War II. And some astrologers think that this exact configuration, where Pluto is in Aquarius, Uranus is in Gemini, and Saturn and Neptune are both in Aries, has never happened before in recorded human history. That means that this moment matters. This is where we get to create. This is how we make change happen. Now, I'm a millennial. I was born when Pluto was in Scorpio. And I recently learned Thomas Jefferson also had Pluto in Scorpio. That means that the founding fathers of the United States were the millennials, Gen X, and Gen Z of their generation. Say what you will about Thomas Jefferson, and we could and should say a lot, but that man lived in a time of upheaval. He got shit done. So here's the question the sky is asking of all of us right now. What dreams are you making real? Not dreaming about, not waiting to feel ready for, but actually building slowly, imperfectly with your real life. Saturn asks for responsibility. Neptune asks for faith. Together, they're asking us to stop waiting for rescue and start assuming agency. So I'll ask you again, what do you believe in? What are you willing to do to make it real? This moment is not about prediction. It's about participation. History isn't happening to you. It's happening through you. The sky is wide open. What are you going to do with it?
I don't know how many times you guys have had this experience, but I've had it so many times, especially over the last 5 years, to hear people begin to pay attention to what Spirit has been causing me to pay attention to. And as a community, we have been sitting and speaking with and dancing with and just marinating in. It's happened so many times. It takes a while for people beginning to wake up and pay attention. But we are in a new day. We're in a new moment. And it's important for you guys to be able to recognize people who are on that journey and to support each other and hold each other hand. We gotta pay attention to what is happening in the sky. We gotta pay attention to what is happening in the sky. That Neptune and Saturn that is at that 0 degree. Now, you know, Saturn means government, law, structure, authority, time, consequence, accountability, institutions. Remember, institutional legitimacy phase this year and next year. Then Neptune deals with, she said faith. Remember I told y'all religion, belief systems, ideology. Neptune also deals with this propaganda and confusion that we have seen, these delusions and smoke and mirrors. That's out of Neptune too. It begins to address that and cause the dissolution of false narratives and that mass psychology that the media specializes in. Mass psychology that the media specializes in. That begins to lose its hold. Now, when you take Saturn, all of what I just said, Neptune, and together, let's begin to look at the meaning of that. That means there's going to be a collapse of beliefs, a collapse of belief-based authority. Remember that 1, because this is a reset year, causes a number 1, that 10. And then now we got what's happening in the heavens, February the 20th, conjunct 0 degree Aries, Neptune, and Saturn. All of this is speaking to authority, singularity, founders. Listen to this. I'm looking at something. Wait a minute. What is this? This is in about or roundabout. The middle end of 2027. we may be looking at a leadership change, and we may begin to hear or feel or sense and see some signs as we get closer to 2027. The window for what I sense and see actually begins to open in 2026. But I see, and this is looking at, I'm going in my mind. I went through 2026 and 2027. I looked at America's birth chart. I looked at the heavens. It looks like we can begin to see a change in leadership. And that can happen through sickness or assassination. But it looks like a change before 2028. But that's an election year. Yeah. Because of that one. Now, that 0 degree of them two planets coming together, it means headship. It means time of the first action. 2026 is the initiation of what's going to be taking place in 2027. And 2026 and 2027 is the preparation year for 2028, because that time window of 2028 to 2030 is when the way that things are done in America has an abrupt, sudden change. Okay. Are y'all with me? Cause I know if it's an Aries, if you've not been around and been with me for years, you may feel like you got to hear up and learn, and you can, and I'll help you. But you need to know the planets. You need to know what they mean. You need to know all 12 signs of the ecliptic cycle, aka zodiac, which you find that in Job 38 and 11. Meseroth is the zodiac. The scriptures tell us to pay attention to the signs. We should be walking, sitting with the sons of Issachar anointing. It was them that looked into the heavens and seen the times and paid a darn attention. I need everybody under the sound of my voice to pay attention. Look at the numbers. You need to be calculating your daily number, your personal year number. What is your number this year? What is your word this year? And these are things that I have attempted to arm you with. Look at this. I gave this to you earlier. Now, I taught this, but one of Celestial Circle members, Nicole Johnson, she made this. Screenshot this. Take a moment right now and screenshot this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And then after I did the teaching, then she also created this. This is talking about the turning point and the tipping point. She made this off of a Sunday morning, the 11th, which is the second time I started talking about this. Screenshot this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you're armed with information, and I haven't even really went that far. The information isn't just on December the 31st and January the 11th teaching. You have got to watch 2 series. Exodus is a time to leave America, and you got to also watch The Heavens Are Telling. The things I said have already came to pass, but there's a lot in there that hasn't happened. And so listening to that over and over, you're going to be able to spit it out, and you're going to be able to teach somebody else. That is when you have successfully exchanged with me, when you are able to teach somebody else what you have learned. Yeah, that's us working together and doing a great thing in the earth. All right. All right, so about to go a little bit further. Those of you now that you say, okay, I'm enjoying this, I already see, and I see where I want to donate. This has been a blessing already. You ain't even finished, and you would be right. I want to go ahead and begin to support this platform. Well, you're going to see a link in the chat. But I'm asking everybody watching to do $71.11. Now, if you do $211.11, you're going to get Shamako on the phone. 200 and in fact, push yourself, make the sacrifice. If you got the faith and the money's in your account, $211.11. Shamako is going to be calling high performers and stakeholders. Partnership is the level of giving for our Celestial Circle members weekly, and they're also MBN partners that they at least do that every single week. But I'm asking for those of you that are watching that have never had an experience of our prophets, you're getting the teaching this morning, donate at one of those levels, and me or Shamako are going to be calling you and have that experience. And you would have fully experienced this ministry, okay? You've only seen the Larry Live show, and that's for laughing and learning. But I want you to have an experience, a deeper experience with this ministry, okay? And have your own personal experience. Okay, all right. So you screenshot that. Okay, so you got that. And make sure you got that scripture too. And our secondary scripture is actually out of the King James Version of the Bible, the Amplified Version. See to it that you do not refuse to listen to him who is speaking to you for now. Those of you that are listening to me, it ain't Larry talking to you only. It's also Larry inspired by spirit. For if those sons of Israel did not escape when they refused to listen to him who warned them on earth, revealing God's will, how much less will we escape if we turn our backs on him who warns from heaven? His voice shook the earth at Mount Sinai then, but now he has given a promise saying yet once more. We're in the yet once more period in America. Yet once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the starry heaven. You see that? Now this expression, yet once more, indicates the removal and final transformation. We are in the final transformative years of the American culture, system, and ways. Of all those things which can be shaken, that is, of that which has been created, so that those things which cannot be shaken may remain. That has been created, every system created is shaking under this seismic global shift energy. Okay. All right. So, like I said, Neptune and also Saturn in Aries and what it means. And what we're at 0 degrees now, because Aries is ruled by Mars. There's war. Aries is fire. So don't be looking at your calendar like, oh, he said February the 20th when it happens, it can happen on that day. That's not how astrology works. That's how astronomy works, because that day, those two planets are at 0 degrees in Aries, and in Aries been fire and Mars been the ruling planet of that sign. That's when you get into the astrology aspect of interpreting these signs. But think about it, 0 degrees. The farther it gets into Aries, we experienced this coming out of 2023, going into 2024, when Pluto went into Aquarius and it darted back and forth. That energy began to show up. But now we're further into the Aquarius energy, and we're in the war aspect of that energy. Remember Pluto and the planet Earth and that relationship between the two. So yeah, 0 degrees Aries. So as we get further into Aries, and then as we go into the year, then Uranus goes into Gemini. Well, our president is a Gemini. When Uranus goes into Gemini, conversation around President Donald Trump is going to be at an all-time high, not just in our media, but global media. And this has to happen because of what's going to happen to him. The entire world got to know about it. And when this happens, this is not going to make things better. Because Donald Trump is the mask, the puppet. He's the indication. He's not the reason why. There's a structure that began to form a long years ago that's been planning for this time. And their vision has to fail. But it's not going to fail before it gets started and do some damage. That's going to take over 10 years to recover from. I know some prophet probably done told you just a little bit, and then we're going to be out of this. They lying. It's not happening. No. It's going to take 10 years minimum to to begin to see that we have successfully overcame this and all of that, and now we're in a period of repair, recovery, and renaissance. That's what the spirits say, and that's what the heavens confirm. Always so. Old leadership logic, that scripture, generation against generation jubilees, we just read, that old leadership logic versus the new leadership and the way leadership looks in the future. One is fading out, another one is coming forth. That authority, that Christianity has and religion and the church and these systems and all of that's going, institutional legitimacy fading. People are going to no longer believe what they're told and what they're showed. 2026, 2027. Because institutional legitimacy shall fade. The leaders of those institutions, their leadership legitimacy is going to be gone. The preacher is not going to matter. The time of the preacher is over, saith the Spirit. The Spirit said, this is the time of the orator. This is the time of the advocate. This is the time of the prophet. And this is the time of the teaching visionary. The preacher, the politician, has had its day. And in this year, their legitimacy begins to fade. And that is the word of the Lord. Now, remember, America, you guys, according to the Sibley chart, that's where you pull America's chart. America's a Cancer. Need I say anymore? And you can tell that we are. We're reactive. We're emotional. We love our home. Cancers are lovers of home. I'm proud to be an American. That's patriotism. That comes out of the energy of Cancer, because Cancer takes care of the home. And Cancer wants to protect its borders. And Cancer wants to make sure their house is safe. Oh, the stars don't mean nothing. America just happened to be a classic Cancer. It's very interesting how people just believe that and rather choose not to have knowledge when knowledge is power. And when you look at where these key planets are in America's chart, you'll see that Pluto is going to move like a Capricorn in America and restructure it. And Mars, that warring energy, is going to be moving like a Gemini in America. That Saturn is going to be, that structure, remember the old structure leaves and a new structure, is going to be moving like a Libra in America. A Libra bringing the balance with the structures. I know my students can understand what I'm saying when I say that. But I do know there are people who are watching who I don't teach. So you're sort of struggling with it. But when I said Cancer and the Sun and Pluto and Capricorn, the students of Reformation, they know what these planets are and their characteristics, so they can understand what I'm saying. But I hope I'm being as clear as possible. So the collapse of illusion-based authority and is going to force a restructuring in leadership and governance. I just explained Neptune and Saturn. And that 0 degrees, y'all, that is the first point in the ecliptic cycle. Aries is the first, and it's 0 degrees, and it's in the 1 year. Y'all, we can't escape this. Your individuality, your singularity, those of you that are married, you're going to get very single this year. And if you do that in 2026 and 2027, it's a 2 year, that's partnership and duality. So this is the year of the spirit singularly changing, shifting, moving, your identity, everything, your vision in you. And 2027, that's going to intensify, but it's intensifying so that you can be ready for the duality that's going to be fully realized in the corridor 2028 and forward. So I hope that you are listening to every aspect of what I'm saying, because what I'm saying to you is both prophetic and in other areas it's predictive. That means it's the stars. So pay attention and just be ready for what is to come. Heads of families, heads of households, heads of organizations shall fade and fall, and you will see some that will change what they believe and say they no longer believe in this or no longer will be doing this. And this is going to be very public in this 1 year because leadership shifts. This is leadership year. Leadership year begins this year, fully realized, 2027, middle end. Okay? So this Neptune and Saturn moving into Aries, it activates U.S. Mars in Gemini. So that means conflict, legal battles, executive stress, and a lot of military rhetoric. A lot of people have been playing with this martial law thing, like the military in the street. Tell you the truth, I'd much rather have the military in the street right now than the police or ICE. I don't trust none of them. They all seem like slave catchers. Sorry to all of you that may be policemen and may be good men. But I said what I said. All of you ain't like that. But you know what I'm saying. All of ICE can go to hell. All of ICE. All of ICE can go straight to hell. I got a lot of cuss words for ICE, but I'm not going to do that. But they can absolutely just go straight to hell. Quickly, fast, go. So this leadership strain and this Constitution conversation, which I told y'all on December the 31st, that there's going to be this whole Constitution conversation that's going to begin to come up in this year about like changing it or editing it or reinterpreting it. And that's going to be very interesting. But the public is going to begin to lose trust. And like I said, delay recognition in this year, 2026, because this year is destabilizing all authority. And then you're going to also begin to see things get more restrictive in movement. Begins this year, fully realized 2027. Are you hearing me? Well, let's talk about a little bit about 2027. 2027 is the enforcement year. What's been played with an idea in 2026 becomes a structural decision in 2027. And leadership replacement. See, that's what I'm saying we need to be looking at. And this energy is already here. Some of you may have dreamed it and felt it. But this energy of a shift in leadership surrounding Trump through tragedy or just, trajectory as relates to age. It's just time. It's sickness or tragedy. But before 2028, more than likely 2026 may see tremors of it. We'll see tremors of it 2026. And that's looking at the stars. So that's predictive. Okay? So this is going to be very interesting. Very interesting. So this January and let's not do that. I got wrote down here the phases of 2027, but it's 2026. You're not gonna remember it, so there's no need of doing that. But I have it written down. I hope I remember where this is at when we get into 2027. Okay. All right. So let's look at his 907. Doing good. Okay, it's 907. Let's look at let's define the turning point and the tipping point. We're going to always come back to the planets again, guys, because we got to make sure everybody's programmed with what is happening and what's going on so that, we're clear. And so we can teach somebody else. When somebody asks us, we'll be able to tell them. Okay. Who is the puppet master, the Heritage Foundation, and all of his tentacles, and all of his oligarchs? All right. I love that. When pulpits promote pillaging, God's word becomes the mix of war and well. Whew. The universe is chaotic. So are some of the systems we must survive. Rise up all, you mighty people, and do as you will. I absolutely love that, the way it's articulated. I absolutely love that. And I fully agree. Entirely. Paid it forward. I paid with my tithe, with my time. That's impossible. Tithing is not always in the form of money. Complete lie. It truly takes a village. It's not true. Tithing belongs in the hand of a priest. You're talking about giving, even alms to the poor. That's something totally different. That can't. Tithing is a different money system. And see, if you look at tithing just with the King James Version of the Bible, understanding that they use to make people give their institution money, you're probably going to be a little detested and pull back from it. Because it is a manipulation of the text in most times. But when you begin to look at the history behind that, it gets purer and purer. You get into Judaism, which is where Christianity comes from. It gets more purer. And then you go back to Africa, African spirituality. Remember that is the first practice. If you want to make it a religion, then you say that's the first religion, but it's not a religion. That comes out of that world. And you understand that the tithe and originally was for the priests. In Judaism, when they began to do these measures with the Tarum and all of that. But originally, the elders received the tithe. So no, that's not the truth. I'm not trying to embarrass you at all. But at the same time, I'm out here on the World Wide Web. I am teaching on my Sunday morning service. Okay. Doctors, but hey, J. Tom, how you doing? Various doctors believe Trump has had a mild stroke. Really? I haven't heard that. If Vance takes over, the global powers will slay the eyeliner office fan. It's inevitable. It's the 250th year in July of America. When empires turn 250, the year they turn 250 is very paramount because it begins to mark the next 2 to 3 years when you begin to see the collapse. That's history. But it's also, according to what I said to y'all from the top of this live to now, it's astrological. The heavens are telling. I love him too. That's my brother. It ain't got nothing to do with him being a prophet, me being a prophet. That's my brother in the flesh. Yeah. Let me see. Hey, Michelle Holly. I love the way you think. All right, let me go. Yes, please don't post your giving in the chat. We are trying to keep Dr. Reid on track. Bless your life. Okay, let me finish the teaching. But it is time now for everyone to decide what level that they want to donate and support us this morning at. There are only 2 ways to do it. A link that's going to be put in the chat. Now you get to decide right now. This is the way that you're able to do it. If you send in the Taruma Dr. Reid, go get you a sandwich. Here's my $10. There's a link in the chat that says Taruma. Or you can send a Zelle to IamLarryDReid@gmail.com. Now for your partnership, high performer, stakeholder, and supersede, on the right of the screen is the way you do that. See the link in the chat, or you can Zelle it. Donations at mbnnetworkglobal.org, or mail it to 780 Morosco Drive Northeast, 244-224 Atlanta, Georgia, 30324. All right. Screenshot this. This is the only way to give to MBN Network Global. I no longer work for that entity then, MBN Network Corp. All right. You got it. Okay, so you can begin to do it. Now, in a little bit, I want you to tell me in the chat what you did so I can recognize you. If you're not a patron, you don't know that tomorrow, everyone that donated today, we post it and we thank you, and it's posted there in Patreon. Tomorrow is when the calls begin to come in for your prophetic word, those of you that supported us at the high performer, stakeholder, and supersede level. And remember, those of you that are doing the supersede this morning, you are going to receive the very first session of our band coaching from last week. Now, when you do the 7-11-11, you're going to need to send an email to donations@mbnnetwork.org. Donations@mbnnetworkglobal.org. No, don't send it down. When you do the 7-11-11, send an email to pat@thembnnetwork.org, letting her know that the 7-11 that you sold, you want that email over for that first session, because that is what we're going to do for those of you this morning. I suggest if you're going to go that far, you might well join Celestial Circle, $2,026. That's going to allow you to get in the full course of the School of Prophets and Mystics, the School of Prophets and Mystics, the full course. You get into Celestial Circle. You also get special seating at Reformation. We're having it this year in Atlanta, July the 24th through 26th. You get so much. Yeah. So make that decision. And this is the way. If you're going to do Celestial Circle, go to the website. For your donation this morning, use this. And while I'm clicking, make sure you have screenshotted that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And screenshot that. That's for the stars. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So let's go a little bit further. All right, so I need to define the turning point and the tipping point. Now, I'm going to define this because this year, 2026, is the turning point and the tipping point. Remember, it's a turning point, but we're going to get into that tipping point. That's the rise of pressure as we go along. So I want to define that, and then I want to look at turning point and tipping point on a personal level, but I'm not going to finish it. Okay, so a turning point is where you begin to lock in your direction. And if you look at the imagery here, I want you to look at this. You see how that road is? And then it comes like to this traffic circle. Now, in Atlanta and other countries, every traffic circle I've ever driven in, even Aruba, they have a big one. They have nothing but networks of traffic circles. When you come to the traffic circle, you have been driving down a road for a while, and that road is pretty straight and it's pretty clear. But when you come up on a roundabout, you know it's a pivotal point in the road, but you really do not know, except you know the area and where you're going. You don't know where to get off at, and you can get at that turning point and just go in circle after circle after circle, seeing the signs of the potentiality of where you can go and what direction. But I don't want your turning point to become you moving in a circular motion. At the turning point is where you're supposed to begin to make the destiny directional decision. Now, if you're in this community, you know all December, we talked about destiny decisions. At this turning point, you're going to be locking in your decision because you go around the roundabout. You choose a direction and you lock in. And whatever you choose, I'm telling you, the future that you're headed to is unavoidable. I want you to see America coming down that road and that roundabout, because America, this is happening, and they're choosing a direction. They've already chosen a direction, and the direction they have chosen is unavoidable collapse, calamity, struggle. At the same time, innovation and all these amazing things are going to be happening. At the turning point, you're no longer looking at 5 and 6 options. You're looking ahead. A select 2 to 3 maybe choices you can make. And you can choose the future or what's familiar or what's going to foil. What's familiar, the future, or what's going to foil. Your choices have narrowed now. That's the turning point. Now the tipping point is where that pressure builds now, and that it can no longer be contained. It's just a spilling over. Everything accelerates and bam. At a tipping point, that's when it gets to where nothing feels the same, and it's just this huge change that just triggers me up. The turning point, at that point, you lock in direction. Things are irreversible. And America has already chosen that, and it's irreversible. It's set. The future of America is set. They have exhausted all of its old formulas. That's why there's the debt there. That's why there's this fight for dominance. This is why they're denying that we're a bully, trying to distract us with other stuff while they're moving foolish in the main stuff. The mask has cracked. Institutional legitimacy is cracking. It's set. And see, they think because it's still standing that it means that it's powerful. No. Because the power is in legitimacy, and the people give it that. And the people are going to begin to see and sense the cracks more and more in 2026. America's already chosen her future. And now the consequences and the reckoning is going to catch up. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Can't do the way that they've done it before. See, empires don't collapse suddenly. It takes times little movements towards the collapse. And that's what we're in right now. And as we get further in this turning point year, we go into that tipping point energy. Is where that pressure is becoming overwhelming. And more people are beginning to be aware by this time at the tipping point that we got a problem. And when we get into the tipping point energy, middle end of 2026, and then remember the same space in 2027, that's a point, an indication also of this increase of clarity that is going to be happening with your typical American. The American, one of the main things that is going to be so atrocious to the consciousness of closed-minded Americans is beginning to have a global lens put over their eyes. Because what's going to happen in America is going to make them think about other places. What we've seen in other countries happens in this country, and we implode. Yeah, there can be a war, throw a bomb, a missile, but that ain't our concern. Our war is civil. Our war is here on American soil. See, when I first started saying it about this time last year about creating Black safe spaces, when Bishop Whitehead was robbed at his church, and I began to say in that post and in the live afterwards, that at this point we should actually have armed people at our services. People have been shot and killed in the safety, the illusion of safety in their Black local church. You're not safe at a Black gathering, except you make yourself safe. And I wish people thought that way, but this white man comes into New Birth last week and was able to say all of the crazy shouting amongst the people, nobody checked them. What if he had a machine gun? How many would have been dead? Create Black safe spaces, and no space is safe except that you make it safe. So when we get to this tipping point energy, people are going to be saying, I can't believe this has happened in America, or this has never happened in America before. That's going to be what's going to be said. This doesn't feel like the country I grew up in. Some of us already saying it, but I'm talking about the masses. Because right now, this is almost the awakening is like an underground movement right now. You know each other when you see each other. But for the most part, everybody's caught up in whatever their normal life is, and they act like this is just normal. Ain't none of this normal. And so we should not be in the comfort of our sameness. We shouldn't be looking for it. We should be looking to do the thing that is different than what we've done before, that makes more sense as relates to what we want and where we want to go. The comfort of having 3 cars, choices, depending on the weather, what you feel like. Bring that down to 2. You got 2 choices. You're going to get in your truck or your car. Bring that down to 1. And take that money you would be paying on a loan for a depreciating asset and put it into S&P. Put it into the SPY. Put it into a stock that pays dividend and make money off your money. Put it into a high yield savings. Put it into an insurance tool and begin to build. Then protect it in trust. layer it behind walls where people can't get hold of it, and people want to lie on you and try to sue you and try to get your money. Protect it like the white folk, from the white folk. What they use to protect each other from themselves, we need to use that to protect us from them and those that look like us that's really filled with them. So as we get to this tipping point, you guys, that's when it's going to get very interesting. But we're going to see little pockets of the future in Atlanta and DC. We already see it in Minneapolis, but Detroit is going to start coming up on the radar some more. In these black spaces, you're going to see LA and New York begin to take a certain kind of posture that looks as though that it's about the people. But remember, all this is illusion. But the good fake is better than the real bad. And then Texas are going to become like a leader of their own movement. You can hear that conversation. It may not get to that actually happening, but that's going to be the feeling of a split amongst the 52. Well, y'all hear? This is all coming out of the planets, and then some of this is the spirit of prophecy. Okay, now let me get into I defined the tipping point and the turning point. Well, the turning point and the tipping point, because the tipping point is tucked in the turning point. Now let's look at it on a personal level. Are y'all ready? Miss Pat is logging all of your donations, and after I get to a stopping point, I'm going to ask you to let me know what you donated so I can recognize it. I'm asking everybody here to do 7111. Remember, 10 said everything you give goes to all of the mission work in Dubai and also mainly in Ghana. And while I'm saying that, we just secured our new office space in Ghana. Our old office space, if you are in the community, you've seen pictures of it. We started out small, but we only had one business at the time there as well. But now we have 2 additional businesses in NBN Network Ghana. And we have became an NGO in Ghana. That's a non-governmental, operation, which is just like feed the kids and things. It was a long process. We got it done, fully registered. It's completed. We've already started supporting the communities in Ghana, and we're going to take it to the next level in 2027, 2028. This year, we're still laying the framework. We have bought acres of land, and we are consistently, actively is the word. We had to buy the farmland, hire people, bulldoze the land, do this to the thing, and get the seedlings ready, grow them in the greenhouse, and then move them over to the field. And so we've already now to where everything is planted. We passed that seedling stage and we're in this. But now we're about to get more acreage, actually in another area, because we're doing ginger, cocoa, and chili peppers. And so we're doing so many things. The vision that Spirit has put in me is huge. And we're going to begin to also, we'll do this year. We'll be sponsored those that are going to school and covering some medical bills. But by 2028, we're going to have our own facility where we can tend to the disease or sicknesses in that area, and also another facility for the school. So that is in the plan. That's the timeline for that. And it is absolutely going to happen. For it's the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning me. And it's also the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning MBN Network Global that I work for. And that's why they chose me, because the visions are aligned. And my work for MBN Corp from the 90s all the way up to 2025 was spectacular. Larry, you was a bad nickel. You have lasted and you have done the thing. You've touched thousands of lives. using the millions that spirit enabled you to generate. Over that year period, I was looking at it the other day and began to count. And that was a 5-year period. It was done by 16 million. Before that, if you count all the years before, multiple millions of dollars. I've always been moving in multiple millions. I'm so grateful and thankful to be able to see myself for the truth I am. And you are an amazing person, Larry, and I congratulate you. So what does that mean about you? That you are an amazing person. And you are here because you're a misfit and you're different. If you're listening to me, I'm talking to you. You are the person that's supposed to change the legacy of your family name. And when you're struggling with something to build something and start something, I want you to know it's because of you being the first one to do it that you're having that tension, because you're literally reworking the energy around the blood of your family. You're really doing alchemy, because you're going into the blood and you're going into the technology and the characteristics of that bloodline, psychologically, spiritually, sexually, and you're reworking it. How are you doing that? Through your own personal work. So you're changing it not just for you, you're changing it for everything coming after you. I know who you are because I know who I am. That's who you are. All right. So let's I felt something in that, but we're gonna move from that because this. And we've been at Reformation. That been one of the moments. It take 5 minutes and do what we do. Okay. All right. Tipping point. Okay, let's talk about the real personal work of 2026. And this is going to be a conversation we're having around looking at the turning point and the tipping point on a personal level. Now I'm going to say, I got to say it like this. This is how I got it in my notes. Are y'all going to allow me to give you my first point that has a cuss word in it? Let me make sure you already done gave the money so you don't take it back. Go ahead, right? Go ahead on before I say this. Well, all right. I can. Okay. All right. You said I can. Okay. All right. Make sure. If the celestial circle, all blue branches say I can, then I can, because that's the backbone of the ministry anyway. Tiffany, okay, she said, yeah, I can. All right, I can. Hey, Charles Johnson, how you doing? You're supposed to be in the celestial circle. You need to go to the website, mbnnetworkglobal.org, click celestial circle and sign up. It don't matter if you got money or not, because at that link, you can finance it. Come on over. Y'all said go ahead. All right. I'm going back to my notes. Okay. The personal work for 2026. The first thing, get your shit together. Put in the chat, I'm getting my shit together. And I'm going to tell you what that means, because it means more than how I'm saying it. Let me say it in the chat. There's no other way to say this, so you can be very clear. Thank you. You typing it. Thank you. You can say shat if you feel convicted around cussing, but that's programming, but okay. You've been playing around with this 2022 all the way up 2025, 2026, get your shit together. Your vices, get your shit together. Weight loss, get your shit together. Money, get your shit together. Relationships, clean house. Get your shit together. Even as it relates to the world of your belief system, get your shit together. What you mean, Reid? Because you're deconstructing, but you're just letting it happen organically. You're not in an intense study. Get your shit together. It's time to simplify what you believe, not to make it more complicated. The research and the data collection, this is Neptune talking now. The research and the data collecting, yeah, that's intense. And you need to be intensely seeking out information and more knowledge. That's terribly important. But it's the simplification of your belief. It's the deconstruction and decolonization of it. Because all of that difficulty, wear pants, don't wear pants, makeup, don't wear pants, baptism in Jesus' name or not baptism in Jesus' name, whether it's Jesus or whether it's Paul, all of that, we need to have those conversations. But all of that needs to be simplified. What is it? Jesus, Christ, consciousness. Get your shit together. Know what you believe, be able to articulate it and teach it to somebody else. Build that business, rebuild it, and design it future ready to where it's digital and it's not all about foot traffic. That store, make it a hybrid, put half of it online and then make the store smaller. Shift from the brick and mortar, it's still out of order. Whether that's for a church or merch, it's out of order. It's not the future. These physical buildings are going to be where the products are held and that is shipped to us out of the air. That's going to be the main mode of buying and selling. All this we can start saying 2030 on a greater level. So the first thing you're going to do is quit being reactive. Choose spirituality alongside of your humanity, acknowledging fully yourself. Allow these structural changes. Deal with your issues. Get your shit together. Think about when you go to the bathroom and take a shit. What are you trying to do? Get your shit together. You get in there, if you do like I do, you pull down your clothes. Some of you take all your clothes off. You sit on the toilet, you pull a stool out, lift your feet, because there's a position for getting your shit together. There's action steps to getting your shit together. And these, I'm telling you mine. And I get in there and then I allow my system to detox. I give space to get my shit together. And then it comes out as one. I collect my shit. It's mine. I own my shit. And then I remove every evidence of what I expelled out of me off of me. And I wash it, especially the area where the shit came out of. I got to get that off of me. And then after I've collected my shit, cleaned myself from my shit, I flush my shit as far away from me and my whole household as possible. Get your shit together. Where's your plan when stuff go awry? You're supposed to disappear the panic when you're getting your shit together. You have a plan for the pitfall, for the fallout. At the turning point, you get your shit together. Let me see. I ain't even looking in the chat. So when you go to the bathroom the next time to defecate, because of what I just said, it's going to be a spiritual ritual. And you're going to be thinking about the things you need to eliminate out of your thinking, not just out of your gut, but out of your spiritual belly. And it's going to mean so much more to you. So get your shit together, deal with your shit. Clean up your shit. Collect your shit. Get rid of your shit. Get your shit together. It's crystal clear. That's the whole point of me rehearsing and saying that over and over and over again. Y'all got it. Teach the shit out of us. Yeah, can't go forward. This is the turning point. This is the time to deal with it. Let me tell you what you don't want to happen. Exactly. Don't repeat the same shit. Let's go back into the bathroom in our head now. What you don't want to happen after you have eliminated the shit, collected your shit, what you don't want to do is to compromise with your shit and try to explain that thing. Just flush it. If you don't flush it, guess what's going to happen? Your shit is going to rise. I don't know if you ever had that happen to you when you go to flush and something is keeping that from happening and it begins to rise and it goes on the floor and you got to clean. That is horrible. That's worse than just the first time getting rid of your shit. But if you can get rid of your shit, expel your shit, but then make excuse for your shit. And when you do that, you can't flush it. Even if you attempt to flush it, it's going to rise. And that cleanup is way worse than the wet wipes. Y'all get, I promise you, that when you go to the bathroom, it's going to be a spiritual ritual. In your spirit, you're going to feel like you took a dump. Not just in the natural. All right. Okay. I'm going to do this last one, and then we're going to recognize the seeds. Number 2. What are we discussing now? The real personal work of 2026 at the tipping point and the turning point. Number 2, future-minded positioning. Put that in the chat. Future-minded positioning. Now, this is why we started off talking about the planets, because we're looking at the position of each planet. We're looking at America's Sibley chart, which is his natal chart. We're comparing, we're looking at it, and we are positioning things with the future in mind that the heavens are prophesying. And even maybe what the Holy Ghost of God in Christ Jesus in you is speaking to you from God. Future-minded positioning. You know about the turning point. You know about the tipping point. You know about the planets. In order to participate in this future-minded positioning, number 1, you've got to choose flexibility. You got to choose flexibility. Put in the chat, I'm choosing flexibility. Now, you can type it. You can say it real easy. But that thing going to be tested. That thing going to be tested. Did you hear what I said? Okay, I'm going into coaching now. I heard something said about me that's not true. But this is true. There's another side of my nice, loving, forgiving self that is very direct, cold, aloof. That's there. But you only get that side after you've pushed me beyond my limitations. And I can't take it no more. Then I disappear, I ghost, and and that's just it. Could it be a trauma response, abandoning the situation? Could be. I'm going to say that it is. But it's necessary to go through that process to then come to where you need to land. You ever meet them kind of people that Kamako and Nathan is like this? When something happened, you gotta leave them alone. Me, I'll say leave me alone, but don't leave me alone. Ignore me. Come check on me, make sure everything's all right. Because the way my Aquarius brain is set up, we have a situation that happen. We have the conversation. I don't know why my mind automatically go to, okay, you go take care of yourself, I take care of mine. And just say, why you go that far? And my brain just does that. You do something, say something crazy, and I'm done with you. And y'all, I'm really done. And if nobody bring it up, typically Mako, if nobody brings it up, I forget you. Or maybe the spirit will bring you in a dream. That's it. That is my superpower and my Achilles heel. So I can become very, 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 very disconnected. In that ability, there's a flexibility that I have that I notice a lot of people don't have. All of us, because see, I'm an Aquarius. Pluto's in Aquarius. We're in the age of Aquarius. So in order for you to win, you're going to have to Aquarianize your approach in problem solving and peopling. Oh, Larry, you teaching. I deserve some water. Nancy, give me, I need a bottle of water, I deserve it because I'm teaching so good. Did y'all hear what I said? I done forgot it. Can y'all tell me what it was? I love when the spirit just take over my mouth and say everything so pretty. What did I just say? I know y'all like, this boy's crazy. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is how I live my whole life. The spirit just be telling me what to do, talking through me. That Friday we done prayer. I ain't do prayer. I was asleep. Dr. Reid, you was on the line and prophesying to us. I promise you I was asleep. I woke up after. I called my uncle. I said, what'd I say? He said, everything went well. I said, okay, I don't remember. Now, everybody might not have that ability, but I do. I can be full asleep, prophesy, and teach, and don't remember nothing. Oh, look at my water coming. It's a reward. What was the last thing I said? That was amazing. What was that? I hope somebody got that. Y'all, that was a powerful statement. Woo. That was the first part to Gatlin, but I said something after that. In the age of Aquarius, you have to Aquarianize your approach to problem solving and peopling. Thank you. I love you so much. All right, so that was it. You have to, I'm telling you, because see, the Aquarius is the custodian and the humanitarian of the zodiac. Now, see, this is so interesting because everybody focuses, see, people don't know the stars, so they be talking stuff and don't know what the hell they're talking about. The Aquarian, the aspect that's aloof and distant, is also the same energy through which they are visionaries and they can see. They're naturally born seers. We're all been called into our sight for this age of Aquarius. And we're also called to rise above this energy and get a throne room view vantage point. That's the Aquarian position. So you have to Aquarianize your approach to problem solving, to business, and peopling. Remember I told you. So you got to be more analytical and apostolic and prophetic in your thinking. That is the Aquarian sign, you guys. That is in the Aquarian sign. Earth signs. This is a time now for you to embrace this Aquarius energy, because you, Tauruses, these earth signs, Virgo, what that was, I don't know, going off the top of my memory, Capricorn, I think. The ground is trembling, the earth, and you are earth sign. It's doing like this. Some of you are probably triggered up. You have got to Aquarianize and get in the air. Because if you don't, you're going to be slipping into anxiety. Fire signs, manage your anger. What you're going to see is going to make you mad. Now, when anger shows up in a woman, she cry. When anger shows up in a man, he fight. But he's sad just like she is. They both sad. But one is showing up in tears, the other is showing up as mad. I'm mad about my sad. A woman is hurt about her sad. A man gets mad about his sad. So fire sign, manage your information intake. If not, you're going to be mad. Water signs, you'll be to and fro and unstable. Any movement always moves water. Nothing can happen. And water does not respond to the pitch, the frequency, the emotion. Water carries memory. That's why every time you're in the shower, you have a spiritual experience, because you're in water. You're in the coding, the thought, the information, and the vibration of millions of years. Water was here first. Water fills everything. So when in that water, it's the memories of your ancestors. It's the memories and what happened. It's the water that the dinosaurs drank. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So that's why water workings are so important, and praying in water is spectacular. Because it connects you to everything that ever was. It connects you to the heavens and to the stars, the water above the firmament, the water under the firmament. It's in your Bible. You ignored it. Are you hearing me? So water signs, you have got to center, because all of the movement is moving you. Everybody has to Aquarianize, air signize, lift up above it. I pray to God y'all are hearing me, because no part of what I'm saying is hitting the ground. It all happens. You cannot like me, but you need to listen to me. God know you watching. I don't like you. I don't not like you. That's what I mean. But well, some of you I don't like. But I still don't wish you no harm. So take this information, use it. Teach to your community, become it. Fine. You ain't gotta say my name. At this point, I don't want many people lost. Y'all, people are gonna die this year because of what was decided last year becomes a reality this year. And people will not be able to get medicine. They're already dying in detention centers because when they capture these people and confiscate and kidnap these vanishings that they're creating in our world, they don't have their medicine. And they die. And they hide it. Has anybody still found that 1,400 people that was at Alligator Alcatraz? Did they ever find them? Or was that just the rumor? I love that declaration, Granville. This is good, but I'm new to the platform. I'm gonna drop the link. I want to ask you a question. You ain't got to show your face. I need to do a quick what's the word? I need to do an info gather. If anybody's your first time, hit this link, and I need to ask you a couple of questions. Whenever I needed to do some deep thinking, I would go to the water. I need to get back to that. Yes. Did y'all hear everything I said about water and the history? Hey Ty, how you doing? Excuse me, y'all. No, that's not from MBN Network Globe. It's from MBN Network Corp because you gave to it. And any of you that receiving anything in the mail, make sure you email it to 780 Morosco Drive so that MBN Network Corp that I used to work for can send it to their lawyers. And I'm working with them because I signed for everything. So if you get something, it's a lie. You ain't no trouble. It's because you donated to the MBN Network and they saw that donation come in from your account if you Zelled it. You got an Aquarian eyes. Well, the water is the refuel. Right, exactly. Yeah, the news cycle's moved on to the next thing. Please drop the link for Taruma and the donation. Water carries memory. Air is light, fast, and detached. It moves on. You stop fighting the waves and start surfing the wind. I love that. Air is light, fast. Thank you, baby, for coming in. I got a question for you. You can't listen to me from what you were watching me on. Got turn it off and listen to me real time. You hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, great. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing great. I got a question. You said it's your first time here. Thank you and welcome. What was it that has been said that impacted you the most, and what caused you not to click off the live when you first came on?
We need to get our shit together.
Oh God, okay. And now y'all see all your business partners. Remember what we discussed in brand class? Remember we discussed that? So we're gonna be using this on Wednesday for coaching because we explained this. You never know what it is that just people connect with. I done all that deep talking planets and stuff, but then I said you need to get your shit together. It brought it home.
It hit it home.
Thank you for letting me know. I just wanted to know.
You're welcome.
All right, God bless. Wow. Let that encourage you to just do it the way you do it. Say it the way you say it. Be you in your humanity. Remember, your humanity is the center of spirituality. You can't be spiritual not being authentic. You only can be spiritual when you're authentically who you are. You can't upgrade the self without telling the truth about who and what the self is. And that's the truth you tell to you. You ain't got to broadcast everywhere. If that ain't a grade A example of the reason you should do it the way that you feel to do it, that is because y'all saw me struggle with it. I said, I'm just going to say it the way that I got it wrote in my notes. And we got it. Simplify what you believe and then simplify how you teach it. I am choosing, this is the last one we got. All right, 9:59. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pay CJ and Tamara because they won. Okay, Tamara, CJ, give me 15 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna finish this and then recognize seeds because we have been here since 8 o'clock. So 15 minutes on the clock. 10:15. I'm gonna try to go for 10:10. So we end in an angel number. So future-minded positioning requires you to intentionally choose flexibility. And let me tell you, you're choosing flexibility over comfort, but you're choosing flexibility more so over. How did I write it? Or did I not put a word in there? I didn't. Let's see if I can explain. You're choosing flexibility over comfort, and you're choosing, here we go, flexibility over status. I was told by a former mentor buying a Cullinan Rolls Royce changes your status. I watched that play out because I was driving either one of my Rolls Royces, which I don't have no more. I sold. Why? Flexibility, right sizing. People treated me a certain way, paid me a certain way. Now, I've driven Mercedes for decades, but because this is a Cullinan, this is like the king on the road, a Rolls Royce. At least that's how it seemed. And that brought about a certain treatment. When I sold those Rolls Royces, it was said to me by my former mentor, not wrong, it's just a perspective, that you've lost a status. Why would you do that? Flexibility is saying to us to choose flexibility over comfort and choose flexibility over status. Y'all hear that? But some of you buy that kind of car just so they can see you. When y'all pull up, you measure. That's a man thing. I don't know if women do that. But we do that. It's almost, look at his car, and then we measure each other by that. That's programming so that we can keep buying stuff we can't afford. Good job, capitalism in America. But now we're leaving America. The exodus ain't just physical. Before anything, it's mental, emotional, it's financial. So choose not to be a consumer no more and choose flexibility over status. Here's another way to say it. Choose liquidity over lifestyle. What are we discussing? The real personal work of year 2026, the tipping point and the turning point. Number one, get your shit together. Number two, future-minded positioning. Choose flexibility over status. You may want to sell your cars, or for now on, just take black cars, especially if you don't move around town that much. You can use a fraction of your money for getting to and fro that you usually have to use for car note, insurance, and the gas in it. That sounds like a financial good decision to become more flexible and choosing that over status versus you jumping in the car, liquidity over lifestyle, versus you jumping in your car to go where you got to go. Call your car to go where you got to go. That's the future. The future is about being driven, not you driving yourself. So when you know that, you begin to right size and get future minded and posture yourself for the future. Your title don't matter no more. Your skill set does. So if you're getting paid right now because of your title, because of your pedigree, because of your degree, and your tenure at the company, your job ain't sure. And your job is not secure. You have got to develop more skills to be a fit for the future. And the person that works with AI is the person that's going to replace the person who doesn't. And it's time now to begin to put structures and systems in place, as opposed to just coming out your face with the wishes and I wanna, and this is what I see for my vision. Future-minded positioning is saying, right now what I want you to do is to choose systems and skills, liquidity over lifestyle, flexibility over status, skills over titles, systems over just wondering and wishes and plans of the future. Yeah. Are you hearing me? I have so many more. We're going to finish on next Sunday. And on Wednesday, we're going to talk about what we discussed today. You can ask me questions surrounding anything that I taught or anything that I didn't finish. I have a few more as relates to the real personal work of 2026. And we're going to talk about the internal and the external markers that let us know that we're in a tipping point. I'm going to go ahead and give you the first one of that before I give you the last two of what I just talked about. The first, and I think I already said this, the first sign that you are at a tipping point personally, remember the tipping point is tucking to the turning point, is that you lose tolerance for craziness and niggerment. What you used to excuse, what you used to allow, what felt physically wrong, and you just did it. No, you don't even have the grace to do it no more. It's like you don't. It's almost like it's noise, and it's irritating. It's like I can't. Maybe you can't. Never. You certainly can't right now. Your nervous system has been upgraded in the teaching that we did for 2 months surrounding neuroplasticity, because we declared over our brain. We declared over our neurological pathways and neurological transmitters and parts of our brain. Your nervous system has been rewired to do well by itself now. So you're going to feel in your nervous system that survival mode that you used to be in. You're going to feel, you should have been feeling that survival mode going away, and you're going into a more structured, modeled mind and planning for the future. But as you move through 2026, you're going to feel that survival mode thing try to come back on you because of what's happening. Reset your nervous system. You reset your nervous system with the clapping of the hands, breathing deep, holding it for a long time, and doing a couple of, and then releasing, holding as long as you can. Jumping in water, it helps reset your nervous system depending on the temperature. Your nervous system must make an exit out of survival mode forever, to where you no longer go to that as a default. When bad things happen and things that threaten our security and they threaten what our normal way of living and being is, we go into, listen to me, Black people, we are children of enslaved people, and in our blood we have some traumas. And so when certain stuff is said, that traumas alongside of our strength, you can't separate them. When certain things are said and it happens, we go into survival mode. And sometimes that survival mode is the death of the self, because you go cold and numb, and then you go into another functionality that literally can end up creating another personality within yourself. And now there's a duality in your personality. That is called dissociative disorder. So set and reset your nervous system. Do what you need to do as your tolerance level is changing, because that's what changes when you are at a tipping point. That's why you have stopped over-explaining. Your fewer words, firmer boundaries. You make decisions quicker. Usually you needed more time. Now it's like, so that decision latency is shortened. And cognitively you can process, load, unload, upload. You stop over-explaining yourself. Okay, you don't understand it, you just don't understand it. Some people are going to see it as you being selfish or mean. I'm going to say this and I'm done. What changes first when you're at a tipping point? That tolerance collapses. You stop over-explaining, and patterns become obvious, and they become your measure. Not your feelings, not what you hope for it to be and to look like. You pay attention to the pattern. You see the loops. I declare and I decree that all of us have just received an anointing to see loops and to see patterns. I want you to believe patterns over people. Not because all people lie, but some do. But most people aren't aware. And their lack of awareness can be harmful to you. So you got to be able to identify it before it get near you and put up a boundary. You are anointed to see loops. Say that out of your mouth. I'm anointed to see loops and patterns. Loops and patterns. I see you. Loops and patterns. I see you. Loops and patterns. I see you. Loops and patterns. I see me. Because you got to also remember that sight is from inside out. So let's say loops and patterns. I see you. Loops and patterns. I see me. Your pattern recognition is increasing. And you know why your pattern recognition is increasing? Let's look at it from a neurological standpoint. When cortisol levels drop, you get more clarity. So you recognizing patterns and you seeing loops, the money leaks, how the people draining system, the energy trapping, you start clearing everything. So you're not on edge. There's not that spike cortisol. It drops. And now you can see, and there's a calm and a peace. All right, let me just stop. That's too much. At this time, if you have enjoyed what you have heard, everybody here is at a different level of their faith and finances. So with the 7-1-1-1, it's the first month, it's a 1 year. We want to give in patterns of ones. So everyone here, we're asking for a $71.11 donation. And we're going to tell you how. High performer stakeholders that do 211 and 311. Shamako is going to be calling to thank you, pray with you, and give you the word of the Lord. Those of you that are doing 7-11-11, really helping us on today, not only will I be sending you the word of the Lord, but you will also be receiving through email the link to the first session of BAND, which is a $12,000 course. I will be sending to you the very first course. If you're a business owner, you absolutely need it. So once you do the 7-11-11, I need for you to email Pat at thembnnetwork.org, which is the old entity. They bringing them contractors over eventually. Like that was the first, I was the employee they brought over to the new entity. Email her and tell her that you have done the 7-11-11. This is your first time. You're not in Celestial Circle or nothing, but you want to receive that prophetic word from me. And you want that first session of that $12,000 course, that first day. That alone can shift your business. And that is something that we're doing to incentivize your support of MBN Network Global. All right. All right, so I'm looking in the chat now to recognize those of you. Oh, check my text is what they're saying. Oh, okay. Also, those of you that are first-time watchers and you do the $71.11, I wish y'all had come here and told me. Shamako said he's going to call you first-timers. After he calls the stakeholders and high performers, the first-time donors of 71 and 11, he's going to be calling you and giving you the word of the Lord. So those of you first-time donors, after you give it, screenshot it and send an email to Pat at thembnnetwork.org and tell her I'm a first-time giver. I think they may be able to see it on their end anyway. All right? First-time donors. Oh, I need to share this as well while we're doing this. Look at this. Enrollment is still open, and today's the last day. I forgot to tell y'all this. Some of you have been donating all week from January the 11th to January the 18th. I want you to add all of that up. Add it up. And if that is over, let me see now. Let me look. Oh, you see that down there? Y'all got it. I told you each session is 1K. But there's what I'm doing today. Those that do 7, 11, 11 first time, you'll be able to get that first session. Really, you're getting it discounted. Yeah. But let's suppose you get that one session. You're like, oh my God, I want the rest of this. Screenshot that and follow those directions. Please screenshot this and follow directions. You know, there's something that we got going on too that I need to address. Some of you in Celestial Circle now, you don't be knowing what the hell is going on. And then you be emailing folk to have them to retell you what I tell you while I'm live, but it's because you either ain't live or ain't going back to watch the live. This is where the information is given. I'm an air sign, so sometimes while I'm telling you what we've decided, Spirit may switch it up and I give a whole new direction. You missing all of that. And ain't nobody got time to keep emailing you over to again when you're supposed to be a student of the community. You need to pay darn attention. From our oldest to our youngest, everybody got to pay darn attention. If you are older and it's difficult for you, we can give you training because we want you to be set for the future. But we ain't doing the Overton thing. Because that's what they do at church. This is a spiritual university and community that is like your virtual church. But no. Not doing that. All right. So Kendall, do I go through the chat or have you starred every donation? No, you haven't. I see some of you ain't starred. I was just gonna go on the star side and start reading and recognizing. But if you've missed somebody gonna feel like I overlooked them. There's some you ain't there. So let me just go down the thing. All right, I want to recognize those of you that have already donated to the platform, and then I'm gonna let you go and have a great, amazing. It's a great time. You know, Sunday Fun Day start at 11 for brunch. What time the brunch start on Sunday? I know y'all probably meeting up with the girls and y'all just doing that. All right, so let me recognize these donations. I want to recognize Kendall Peacock, Partner C. Thank you so very much. Joseph, how are you? Thank you for your donation. Thank you, Travis Patterson, for High Performer. Shamako's going to be calling you. If you're a first-time donor of 7111, or the first time you ever exchanged with the ministry, let me know in the chat. Carrie Jones, High Performer. Thank you, Carrie. Shamako going to be calling you. Turning Point Seed. I shouldn't have clicked on that. Thank you so much, Sheba Makiba. All right. Got it. All right, Trenton Super C. Great. I get to call you and speak the word of the Lord to you. CJ, I get to speak the word of the Lord to you. I'm so excited about that. I've been enjoying them so much. Thank you, DeQuincy, a Partner C. Thank you so very much. Laurie Scott, Turning Point C. Thank you so very much. Latina, Partner Level. Taruma C. Thank you. Rhonda Jones. I sent your prophecy off early this morning. You should have it in WhatsApp and Celestial. Thank you so much, Rhonda Jones, for your High Performer. Shamako calling you. Farrell Lockett. Oh my God, we can do it now. If I can do it right now, I will, so I ain't got to do extra live. I do it at the end, Farrell. I send you the link right quick. Thank you so much for your partnership. Julie Alexander. Wow, thank you. God bless you so much for being a support of MBN Global. Thank you, Erica Counts, for being a support of MBN Global and trusting us with your seed. Willie Foreman saying y'all can identify as a first-time watcher. He just speaking in you know how everybody's able to identify as they want to. Oh, that is so funny. Glow, thank you so very much. Hail to Ghana. Turning Point C, thank you so much. What's that? I feel something draining. Thank you so very much, Irene Simmons. This is the eldest member here, 81 years old and spry and pretty. Thank you so very much. Beverly Sweeten, I sent your prophetic word off yesterday or this morning. Actually, you should got it from Miss Pat. Let me know in the chat if you received it. Amber, partner seed. God bless you. You are at time. Got you. Thank you, Constance. I can't wait to see you Tuesday. William Jones, thank you so much. Stakeholder, Shamaka going to be calling you. Thank you all so much for your support. Kim Golden, thank you. Dr. Kim, partner seed. Thank you, Priscilla Ayala, super seed. I will be contacting you. Thank you so very much for supporting our efforts. Vonda Simmons, partner seed. Taruma, tipping point seed. Thank you so very much, Vonda. If you were in that first class, put in the chat, let them know how that first coaching class was. Granville, the Batsons, thank you so very much. Nicole Johnson, thank you so much. She's the curator of those visuals that you guys, that you have been excited about and telling me how this helped remind you. Yeah, it's a refresher when you look at it, if you heard the teaching. Yeah. Crystal and Nathan, thank you for Turning Point Seed. Melba Floyd, partner, Turning Point Seed. Stephanie Peoples, partner, Turning Point Seed. Stephanie, have you noticed a change in the children in the classroom with the climate? Like that age of like the Tiberi Trio and Kingsley. What's going on with it? I'm so concerned about that 20s, like 20-year-olds and younger. They look funny in the eye. And our kids and stuff is interacting with these people. I don't know what's going on at their house. Crystal said, I would like to apologize to everyone. I will start working on Taruma statements this week for those who have emailed me. Yes, she was in the hospital with pneumonia. So that's like the best excuse in the world. You can't do nothing. You on your back. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, okay, prophecy was said. Okay, great. Thank you. Donnell Latrice, stakeholder, Shamaka, I'm going to be calling you. Deb Howard Online, have I ever prophesied to you before? If I have, it must have been in 21, 22. I don't remember. I can't wait. Make sure if it's your first time, that means you're going to get that coaching class. You're going to also receive prophetic message from me. I should get to it this evening. Ain't no animated. There ain't no one prophecy sent to everybody here. And I'm not using AI. I'm listening to the Holy Ghost. I'm not looking in the stars either. I'm listening to the Spirit and telling you what He say. Okay. All right. What it remind me? I gotta get with Glow and basically Glow and Constance. That 12 that y'all did. It's gonna be a very long, intricate write-up. I need your husband information too, Glow, his birthday and his time of birth and location. I think what you sent me, Constance, it have location in it. Send it to me. There's something I'm creating for you that you can read from all year long. You'll find yourself referring back to it over and over the way I'm going to do it. So thank you, Deb Howard Online. If it's your first time, make sure you send it Miss Pat so she can send you the first session. Donnell Latrice, stakeholder, Mako calling you. Partner Seeds, Dashima, how are you doing? Actively getting my shit together. Yeah, the first time it's enough for you to listen to over and over and restructure everything. Abdulin Faison, thank you. Turning Point Partner Seeds, Sean. High Performer, Shamako. I guess that man I got to call you. You are still in my shit. What are you talking about? Who is that? Larry don't steal people's stuff now. Larry gets stolen from. Maybe you're talking to somebody else. Very informed. Please, everybody, go and get that class. Just get the one. If you don't get into the whole session, get just the one. Yeah, Generation Alpha's conversation has shifted, and that Michael, don't say they lost. Very informed and amazing. Please get, if you're a business owner. Thank you so much. I will be back and we'll be aligned to give. Thank you. The students' behavior has been off and they're not listening. Yeah. See, children are like antennas. They pick up the energy and then act it out. I anoint and speak over my children every day and over the teachers, administration, and I know that's right. You got to. Great. This is going to be great. Great. So you're going to hear from me. And you're going to receive the email. Wow. I know you're still going to be giving and donating. And listen, just because you can't do 7111, that don't mean you can't do 5111, 2111, 1111. But make sure if you was here and you receive, that you give. And then you're going to receive more. Okay? I meant they look lost in their eyes. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. They do look lost in their eyes. They really do. All right. I am complete for now, and I'm going to go further in where I stopped. There are 2 lists I got to finish, but all of this about the turning point and the tipping point. It's the 18th, and the 8th day of the week, Sunday. Well, see, that's the whole point. I love that. Thank you, DST. God, I'm trying to say your name. I'm going to say Yo-Yo because I know how to spell Yoshima something. Yo-Yo. I don't even know. This Jeremy, Dr. Reid's not here. He left at 10. Dr. Reid kept his word. Fola. Okay, that's what it was. Fola. Now it wouldn't start with Y, so with the F. Fola. I got it. Fola Sade. It's something like that. But Fola. Yeah, I have that by the time I see you. All right. See y'all later. Take care. What's the link to join? To join what? To join Patreon, patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. To join the Celestial Circle, go to mbnnetworkglobal.org, click and join. And those of you that you're here, you are not at Celestial Circle, you're not Reformation Church member, but you're faithfully here all the time, go to mbnnetworkglobal.org, click partner, and sign up to become a partner. So you'll be engrafted into that community. That's like a little baby of Celestial Circle. Doesn't have as many offers and all of that, but you're still a community. So we want to recognize you. So go there and sign up so we can start that process. Oh, you listen to it over and over? See, you know how to do. That's how you get it in you and in your life and in your world. That repetition changes the condition. I'll send my Apple Pay to Larry and Jeremy. No, Dr. Reid didn't. Check your test. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. That is hilarious. Hey, Tiffany. How you doing? I've done publicly my Sunday morning coaching and training and thing. I done it publicly this morning. Thank you, Sandra Woods, for your partner seed. Miss LaShonda for your turning point seed. Larry, I know that you're a real prophet because I say things on my podcast and you will say something on Larry Reid show that give confirmation. Oh, that's what you meant, Buster. Well, I'm not watching you, but I am watching the heavens and listening to spirit. And if you're doing the same thing, we're going to be saying the same thing, which make me wonder what these other prophets is, what spirit is talking to them. Hey, Terrell. Thank you, Terrell, for your stakeholder seed. Shamako going to be calling you. Okay, y'all. Can I go ahead and do something now? Pharaoh said I can, that he's ready. This is something great. It's something amazing. Tamara and CJ, can I go ahead and do this? And y'all, and they're not trying to control me. They're advisory board members, but I want them to help me do stuff in 2 hours. Yeah, so they're doing what they're doing. Hey, J Music, how you been? If y'all give me the go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link. I'm gonna do this now so I don't have to add another day of work. I'm fine with you continuing. Okay, Tamara, at least I got one. Okay, I'm dropping the link, Farrell. And this is exciting to me. And I'm gonna tell you why. And it's gonna be exciting to many of you and probably surprising because Farrell has been a part of our community for years. Okay, Fola says, let's hear it. Tamara's giving me the go ahead. Vonda has given me the go ahead. I'm looking for CJ. I know the kids like, Mama, Pastor Wary taking too long. Pastor Wary. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do it. Yes, only because Tam said it first. Okay. Farrell!
How you doing, Dr. Reid? Good morning.
I am
Good morning,
doing
everybody.
I'm doing so good. Marco, click the link as well. Marco, click this link. This is such a blessing because it's a great testament of this community, who you are as a community. And it's also a testament of Shamako Bryant's leadership as well, and how safe what you tell him is. Now, that's the Shamako I know. And y'all are getting introduced to the real Mako. The real Mako is showing up now. He hasn't been himself since 2019. He just got back to himself. That's no lie. Really since 2017. But he just now starting to get back to himself. So if you already think Mako is an amazing person, you're going to see just how amazing of a person he is. Thank you, Tiffany McCormick. So Shamako's going to be calling you. And y'all stay safe in DC. Marco, can you click the link? He probably got to grab his light. How many of you have met Farrell? Put in the chat if you met Farrell at Reformation. Marco, I'm waiting on you. How many of you have? Marco is such an amazing person. I love and would defend him at all costs because of that heart. Oh, that's the baby?
Yes.
That's the baby.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, look at that. Look at them
Eating cookies.
jaws. Oh, my God. I know you just so happy.
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry, y'all. She wants a cookie, so I'm usually the cookie giver.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. So I see Rhonda says, I've met. Okay, great. Farrell, but y'all probably ain't see it because I was in the pulpit. He was sitting in the back. And, you know, when you look at the videos, you'll see Farrell be enjoying himself like everybody else.
I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Farrell, I want you to tell everybody what you told Shamako years ago. And it's going to be a surprise to some of you, but it's a great surprise. And it is a first for our ministry. Go ahead, Farrell.
Okay. Well, I told Shamako, confided in him that I was trans. I'm a trans man. So, you know, I just kind of play the background. I just watch a lot. Like I'm kind of introverted and kind of quiet already. And then just being trans, I just kind of fill out my surroundings. But everything in this community has just been great and been such a blessing in my life. And watching the two of you being godly men, and it's a really an example for me of how to have that foundation growing up in the church and everything, but still progressing and being a reformer and deconstructing a lot of that. And being able to embrace who I am at the same time and still have God in my life. So it's been a real blessing.
Great. How did you know? When did you know that you were safe here?
Um, Really, day one, like I never felt unsafe, I'd say. But every time I'm in the presence of the community, like I think my first reformation was in 2023. I think when we were in Miami.
Yeah.
And like every time I'm in the presence, I just can't help but cry. And ever since I've been on testosterone, I haven't been able to really cry anymore. Like I don't get emotional for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's the
But
man thing. It's the
I
best.
think so. I think so. But when I'm in the presence, like the tears just flow. It just feels it's just confirmation for me, and I get overwhelmed. I just get overwhelmed with emotion.
Yeah. Well, and Mako held that for years. For years.
It was so
Yeah,
hard. It was
it
What
so
was
is.
hard.
it hard? What was it hard? You know, 'cause I would
I
always be
was,
talking
I,
about, I would be
I,
saying, that's the only missing piece that is in the ministry. And I said, unless somebody's here and ain't tell me, you know.
Mm, mm,
I would hear you say that a lot. I'm like, oh. So you said it not so long ago, and then you called him up. And said something Pharaoh. And so I said, hey, can I call him? Can I tell him now? He
Yeah, 'cause it
said,
was in my mind.
yeah. He said, yeah. He said, because I said, well, he said, because I think I'm ready now. I had to fill my community out. I'm ready to talk and be more open about who I am. So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So now we have old, young, wise, and whippersnappers. We have male, female, trans male. Now we just need trans woman. We have gay, straight, married, single. You know, from the top of the leadership all the way down. You know, we got from the advisory board all the way down. We got everything here, and we must be, got to be, an example of everything that this world is filled up with. And so that excites me a lot. And I'm glad to know that I have showed up as a spiritual leader in a way to where you being trans didn't really want an issue. It was a
Mm,
soul that was growing. Yeah.
absolutely,
So that's,
absolutely.
well, thank you for allowing me to tell everybody and being a spontaneous yes.
Oh, without a doubt, anything I can do,
All right.
as much as y'all have done for me in my life. So
And I can't
sure.
wait to see how this is going to show up, because it's not by happen chance you've been here getting taught and trained. You getting taught and trained to be a teacher in your own community. So I can't wait to
absolutely.
see how that show up. You gonna say something, Marco?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that Pharaoh is just a great guy and has super great energy. Every time
Yeah.
I've interacted with him, the information, even on telephone, is just really, really, really great. I love how you love your children too. Well, you got one. You
Uh,
got one more on the way, right? Or you just had the second one already?
yes, yeah. Boy, will be here in late February, early March. So it's coming up.
Oh.
It's coming. Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
February the
Thank
13th.
you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know, right? I want him to be in Aquarius, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. God bless you and take care.
Thank you. Same.
Um, I'm so glad that he was a yes to him so that I can be able to share that with you guys because this is growth. And all forms, types, and kinds of growth and diversity we embrace. We can't be global and we aren't looking like global. So I can't wait to see all of what this community is going to do. Bring your business. Bring your business to me. Please bring it to me. I want you to bring your business to me, and I'm going to help you take your brand and business global. I'm not by myself. I have a whole bunch of experts that are coming in. We're talking people who manage millions upon millions for companies, and you need to come. I am you. I was you. I started going live with one person watching me. Then it became 10. Then it became 35. And money was not my motive. I didn't know about the monetization. I found out I was monetized by my first check. I was already faithful to the business. So meet me July the 24th through the 26th. I want to help you take your brand global. Marco, your camera is gone for some reason. All right. But I can take it down anyway because I just want you to be with me on that. I don't know what happened to Marco thing. It went away. All right, and we are complete. Farrell says, thank you, everyone. I love y'all and the support you all provide. I'm a better husband, father, and man because of this community, and I love that. And all of the men of the community will continue to wrap their arms around you and mentor you in that masculinity. Because you're taking in testosterone, like he said earlier. He said it's less emotional. So that's that chemical thing that happens in the brain. But you said when you're getting depressed that you still cry. So that's the masculinity and the femininity, and they balance each other. They're not in war. So we'll be here with you for that. Okay. Yeah, bring your business to me. Bring your business to me. Ain't it? That's what I always wanted. But I was using the wrong tools, the white man tool. Yeah, we are absolutely inclusive. Jesus is. Yep. Fruitful and multiplying. All right, let's go. That was a great way to end today. I'm 41 minutes over. It's all Pharaoh's fault. Okay? I like that. That feels better than I can blame it on somebody. It's Pharaoh's fault. Nobody told you we had to come here and talk today. It's your fault. All righty. Dorothy Curtis. I'm missing some. Thank you for partner seed. I don't remember saying your name. Patricia Fuller. Thank you. I don't remember saying your name. Or did I say it? Might have said it early on and I just forgot. All right. See you later. Take care. Wally beloved. This is the way I say, let me play something on the way out. Let's do your God don't play.
But it's really real, a little too much for me. Wanna thank you for the life you give me, steps I take, really is amazing to me. Always there for me, God, it really don't play about me. Don't play about me, God really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, it really don't play about me. Really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, it really don't play about me. About me, don't play about me. Don't wanna be to me, but I feel all my enemies really underestimated me. I'll sit back, I'm gonna watch them all. One by one they'll fall, and nobody answered their call. God, it really don't play about me. Don't play about me. God really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, it really don't play about me. Really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, it really don't play about me. God, it really don't play about me. Don't play about me. God really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, it really don't play about me. Really don't play about me. God really don't play about me. No, it really don't play about me.
Looking for a vibrant community where faith meets empowerment? Welcome to the LRL community on Patreon. Here, you'll gain access to our financial wellness plan to level up your money game and the Build Your Immune System Health and Wellness Lifestyle Plan to keep your health in check. But that's not all. With the groundbreaking AIR project, we're creating jobs in Africa, beginning in Ghana. Plus, you'll unlock insider tips from senior executives across industries. And the best part? Be a part of our daily prayers, Weekly coaching sessions with Dr. Larry Reid himself, Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, The Breakdown Q&A Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Patreon, and so much more. It's time to connect, grow, and thrive. Get the apps, grab the merch, and join us on patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Let's build something amazing together. The LRL community is waiting for you. Church Critic by Dr. Larry D. Reid. An examination of the Larry Reid Live Show perspective. Available now on Amazon and Kindle. Inside, he shares his unfiltered perspectives on the issues the church often avoids. The role of women, deconstruction, fatherlessness, homosexuality, decolonization, and the clash between Western and African Christianity, and so much more. Get your copy today on Amazon and Kindle.